In order to find the vertex, or excuse me, the maximum of a parabola where your a is negative, okay, you just have to find the vertex. And that'll be the highest value that you're at. What would create a parabola that looks like the one on the right? Brandon? Very good. So if a was positive. So write down, if a is positive, we get the graph on the right, where our minimum is at what point? The vertex as well, okay? So the vertex is super important when we're talking about maximums or minimums, okay? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now, a common misconception is that the vertex is the maximum or minimum, okay? It's not. You're going to take the y value of your vertex, and that will be your maximum or minimum, okay? So in other words, what's the y value down here? What's the y value up here? That will become your max, that will become your min, okay? So remember that when you were looking at this example, because I do have students at the max, they'll put the actual coordinates, and I don't want that. It's just one number. Yes?
Oh, so the max or minimum is just going to be the y?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Did we just find that in an equation by looking at the end?
No. Because remember, your C is not your vertex anymore. Your C value is just going to be your y-intercept, because we have a B term.
Yeah, but isn't that what we need for the maximum minimum?
I'll show you, okay? Let's take a look at the first three examples, okay? First thing that we're going to do is every single one of them, we're going to determine whether it's a max or a minimum, okay? So, in my first example, is A positive or negative? It's negative, so write A is negative. And I don't know about you, but I always like to draw a little picture for myself just so I can visualize it. If A is negative, is my parabola opening up or down? Down. So draw a down-facing parabola. And that way I can visualize it. Okay, is this going to have a maximum or a minimum value? A maximum, because we're going to reach here. So it's a maximum. Okay, so these questions were asking us whether it's a max or a min, and then we're going to find that value, okay? We're going to do this step for all three of them, and then we'll find the actual value, okay? So this one was A is negative, so it's an upside down parabola, so we have a maximum. We good there? Any questions on that? Okay, take a look at the next one, okay? B. Is A positive or negative? A is positive. What does that tell me about my graph? Janessa? Good, it's going to be a minimum because my graph is going to face like this. Do you guys see that? Draw a little vertex, and that will be my minimum. Cool? All right. Let's do C. What do you guys think? Brandon? It's a maximum. Why? Good. A is negative. That means that my graph, is pointing down. So I'm going to have a maximum. You guys can abbreviate with max or min, okay? M-A-X or M-I-N for maximum versus minimum. Yeah, Brandon? Would you have to write A is negative and draw the picture? Absolutely not. You could just write max, okay? I'm writing it out because we're taking notes, but if you feel really comfortable, you can just skip straight to writing max or min, okay? All right, now, how do we find the maximum? I told you the maximum for this one is going to occur at what point? At the vertex. So we have to find the vertex. How do we find the vertex of this? Isa?
So first you have to find the axis of symmetry.
There we go. Find the axis of symmetry. How do you find that?
X equals negative b over 2.
Thank you. Negative b over 2a. Thank you for saying x equals. Okay. Who can help me plug in? Daniel, go for it.
Alright, it's going to be just positive 24 over 2 times negative 4.
Good. So this will be positive 24 like you said.
Over negative 8.
Over negative 8.
Simplifies to negative 3.
It does simplify to negative 3.
And then we plug that in for x.
Good. Then I take that and I plug it in for x, okay? But just a reminder, guys, my axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3. We Gucci there? We're all going to write x equals? Beautiful, okay? So Now I'm going to take my vertex, and my vertex will happen when I plug in -3, just like Daniel said. So f of -3 equals -4 times -3 squared minus 24 times -3 minus 19. All right, what do? Isa.
Okay, so first, you do -3 squared, which is 9, and 9 times -4 is -36.
Okay.
And then -24 times -3 equals positive 72. And then minus 19.
Okay.
And then, since they're different signs, you subtract. So it would be 16. Yeah, it would be 16 minus 19, which would then give you -3.
You're close, but I disagree. It's not 16. Let's do that one. So let's do 72 and subtract 36 from it. Do you agree we would have to borrow? We would get, this would become a 6, this would become a 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. So instead of that 16, that should be a 36. And who got, what is 36 minus 19, guys? Yes, I got that as well. It should be 17. Do you see that, Isa? Okay. So my vertex is -3 comma 17. Do you guys agree? What is the maximum value? Sophia?
0, -2.
No. What is the maximum value there, Cody?
17.
It's just 17, okay? Your maximum is just your y coordinate. It's 17. How did we know it was a maximum? We knew it was a maximum because of this work we did up here, okay? We said A is negative, so we know that it's facing down. It's a maximum. Then we found our vertex, and we were like, okay, the y value of my vertex is going to be my max value. Okay? Questions? Let's see a minimum, and then we're Gucci. Okay? All right, so let's go over to B. How do I find that minimum? Brandon? Find the axis of symmetry. Go ahead and find it. Yeah.
On the test, you have to write like the formula, like -b/2 equals.
Uh-huh. Write it all out every single time. So it should be x equals -b/2a. Our b value in this case is -8, so we're going to write equals -8 over 2 times 8. Yes? We're going to get a +8 over here and a +16. 8 over 16 simplifies to 1/2. Okay? So x equals 1/2 is my axis of symmetry. Then what do I do with that? You plug it in. So my vertex is going to be g of 1/2, and it's going to be 8 times 1/2 squared minus 8 times 1/2 plus 6. Yeah, Janessa?
I missed yesterday, so I don't know how to formula it. What is it?
Okay, so after this, you must square first. So it's going to be 8 times 1/4 minus 8 times 1/2 plus 6. Who's pretty good with those fractions? What's 8 times 1/4 going to give me? Bryson?
It's going to be
8 over 4, which is?
2.
And then what's 8 times 1/2?
It's going to be 8 over 2,
Which is 4, and then plus 6. All right, so then we have 2 minus 4 gives me -2, plus 6 should give me +4. So my vertex is at 1/2, comma, 4, but what's my maximum, or excuse me, what's my minimum value here, guys? Cody?
4.
It's 4. Very good, okay? So your minimum is 4. Questions? Okay.